We're going to talk about feeding your horse. What I recommend when you feed your horse, we're going to feed him twice a day. We're going to feed him morning and evening. And what we do here is we do not feed any pellets. We don't feed any sweet feed whatsoever. We feed oats. And we feed rolled oats like this right here. We buy a whole Canadian oats and then we run them through our roller. We have a little roller mill back there we run them through. And when you roll your oats, I don't know if you can see up close, it flattens it out and it makes it kind of more digestible for the horse. Well, we have discovered that this increases the digestibility of those oats like up to 40%. And things I noticed, he doesn't dribble out of his mouth his feed is bad, and he doesn't waste any of it. And if you go and you check the manure piles, there's no oats that go through his system. He digests everything. So we're going to feed him about that much. So I don't know, maybe 2.5, 3 pounds a day, depends on his body weight. Now if you come in here, these are mangers I had made, just like the old Calvary mangers. Okay, we've got a feed box on this side, and then this is his hay manger right here. And this hay manger's made to where if we fill that to the top, that's his proper quantity. And then in this box here, this is his mineral. Okay, this is his free choice mineral that I mix up, and I'll show you how to do that in a future video. Okay, but that's his mineral. Okay, and I give these horses free choice mineral. I want them to have all the mineral they want, because if not, if you top dress it in their feed, they sometimes get too much and they get what they don't need. He knows what he needs, and he will use out of that mineral what he needs. So as far as hay goes, what I like to do is feed that horse maybe 10% of his body weight. And what you can do is go to Walmart and get you a fish scale. Like you hang a fish on to weigh it. It's like a little digital scale that's got a hook on the end of it, and you can hang a fish on there. Well, get you one of those, and when you get your hay delivered, get you 2 flakes of hay and wrap a twine around it and hang that on there. So if your horse weighs 1,000 pounds, you ought to have 10 pounds of hay. Well, every load that comes in, your hay's going to vary. So you can't say a flake of hay or 2 flakes of hay, because every load you get varies. Now here, we're trained to know when we have a pitchfork, we kind of know what that weight is on the end of our pitchfork. So we don't weigh our hay because we feed so much. I mean, the guys here, they just understand how much to give. So, but in your situation, it would pay you to weigh that hay, because literally you'll have some loads that 4 flakes equal 10 pounds, and then you'll have some that 1 flake might equal 10 pounds. But try to get the mixed grass, try to avoid the pure alfalfa. Mixed grass hay is most ideal. And if the guy's got $6 a bale and $8 a bale, buy the better hay. Put your money in the hay. But don't feed sweet feed. The sugar in sweet feed, it creates a lot of non-productive energy in your horse. The corn is not good for your horse. We just believe the corn has no business in a horse. It creates a lot of problems. He just, I can go on, and he doesn't sweat good, he gets hot. Like with the sweet feed, with the molasses, the parasites just thrive on the sugar. With the sugar in the sweet feed, the face flies and the flies will be after your horse more. You'll have more flies in your manure. If you look at my manure piles in the summer, you won't find any flies, because there's nothing there for them. The horse has digested all their feed, and there's no sugar in there for them, so they don't go to the manure. So things like that, keep in mind. You go to the feed mill, they're going to want to sell you what they got to sell. How I feed my horses is how the Calvary fed their horses 150 years ago, and they chased Indians all over the West feeding horses that way, and they fought a lot of wars and battles that way and got along pretty good. And so I like these mangers. I like for a horse to eat down when he eats his hay. And if you'll notice, Brandon, come over here and See how this manger, you put the hay down in there, and so all the little leaves, see how he's wasted some of his grain there, but it's fallen down in there. So he'll clean that up today. You know, we'll come back here this evening and all that'll be cleaned up and it hasn't been wasted. But if I'd have thrown that on the floor, he would have wasted it. It would have got mixed in his sawdust and so on. Where years ago we used to have mangers up high. Well, I noticed the horses, they're wanting to drag the hay out of the feeders and put it on the ground to eat it. See, he's made to graze off the ground. His teeth match up better when his head's down, and he can grind his food better. So that's a very good design right here. This is just right out of the old Calvary manual, how they did it in their barns years ago. And then, of course, we have plenty of fresh water to our horse. We hang buckets like this, and we fill these buckets, and in the summertime we'll have 2 buckets, okay? And the reason I use buckets primarily and not self-waters is I want to monitor his water intake. And everybody that works here knows that if we go to fill buckets up today and his buckets are full with water from yesterday, what that tells us is he's getting sick. That's the first sign of something's wrong. Something's wrong. He's not drinking. Well, everybody knows you better come get Monroe or myself or Kathy, and we got to find out what the problem is. So it's good to monitor that water. And when they get sick and they get a cold, you can put your medicine in that water like that and monitor his intake of that. You can put, you know, some antibiotic in there. Works out real good. And then, but if you use self-waters, which we have self-waters, it's unavoidable, but it's very hard to monitor their water intake and monitor, you know, what's going on with them with self-waters. So, but with that, I would just feed straight oats, and I'd get crimped oats if you can, and buy the best hay you can. Put your money in your hay. If he's got $8 a bale and $6 a bale, get the $8 bale. Get the better hay. Put your money in your hay. Save your money. You know, all the pellets and things that people feed these horses, I just don't see it doing the horses good. You know, I could go on and on about it. I've tried everything. And his diet has a lot to do with his temperament. And you got to be able to control that and monitor that in a way where you keep his disposition and his needs in balance. Now, if you're out there plowing every day, or if you're driving your horse 20 miles a day, he might need some corn. He might need some supplement like that. But if you're using him in a passive recreational way, I see no need whatsoever to have high-powered feed in that horse. This Petey, what you see here, his condition is good hay and crimped oats all winter. And it's been below 0 here for a month straight just about. And I think he's in perfect condition and could be a little too fat. But oats is whole food, and that's very nutritious for a horse, and they get along good with it. And it's something that's easy to digest. And I can just tell you here, we don't have troubles with colic. We don't have troubles with digestive problems. We just don't have it. And that's how we feed. And we get along the best doing it. And I would recommend it to you all. So, thank you.